Here's the hard truth. The groceries you've always taken for granted are slipping out of reach. The shelves may still be stocked, but the prices, they're skyrocketing. What used to be everyday essentials are now creeping into the realm of luxury. This isn't just inflation. It's a quiet crisis that's reshaping how millions of families eat, and it's happening faster than anyone expected. Think about the foods you grew up with, the staples you thought would always be there, affordable and accessible. Now they're turning into status symbols reserved for those who can afford the price hikes. It's not just about fancy cuts of meat or imported goods anymore. We're talking about basic items, things like eggs, bread, and even fresh produce that are becoming shockingly expensive. In this video, I'm breaking down 15 common groceries that are transforming into luxuries right before our eyes. Some of these will leave you stunned, questioning if they'll even be on your shopping list in the near future. If you think this is just a temporary trend, think again. This is the new reality, and it's time to face it head on. Let's dive in. 1. Pasta. From pantry staple to pricey indulgence. Pasta has long been the go-to food for families on a budget. Whether it's spaghetti, macaroni, or penne, this simple yet versatile staple has been a lifesaver for stretching meals and feeding large groups without breaking the bank. But those days are fading fast. Pasta, once synonymous with affordability, is now inching toward luxury status. The reasons are as frustrating as they are unavoidable. The rising cost of wheat, driven by global shortages and climate challenges, is the main culprit. Add to that the skyrocketing energy costs for production and transportation, and you've got a recipe for record-high pasta prices. What used to be a cheap and cheerful way to fill plates is now forcing families to reconsider their grocery priorities. But the impact of this shift goes beyond just dollars and cents. Pasta isn't just food, it's a cultural cornerstone. For generations, it has symbolized comfort, tradition, and family gatherings. From Italian kitchens to homes worldwide, pasta has been the centerpiece of countless meals that bring people together. Now families are being forced to buy less, opt for lower quality brands, or cut it out entirely. And let's be real, there's no perfect substitute for pasta. Sure, you can turn to rice or bread, but those are also seeing price hikes. Processed alternatives, they're often less nutritious and far less satisfying. If this trend continues, pasta could go from being the universal meal of the people to a rare indulgence for those who can afford it. 2. Rice. The backbone of diets, now a financial burden. Rice has always been the ultimate symbol of affordability and sustenance. It's cheap, filling, and versatile, making it a dietary staple for billions of people across Asia, Africa, and Latin America. But the days of rice being a budget-friendly food are quickly disappearing. Thanks to climate-related crop failures, export restrictions, and surging global demand, rice prices are climbing to levels that many families simply can't keep up with. This isn't just about adjusting grocery lists. It's about reshaping entire food culture. Rice isn't just a side dish, it's the foundation of meals that have been passed down for generations. For many families, large sacks of rice were once a reliable way to feed everyone for weeks. Now those same families are being forced to cut back, buy smaller portions, or look for alternatives that don't quite measure up. And let's talk about those alternatives. While pasta or potatoes might work in some diets, they can't replace the role rice plays in traditional cuisine. The texture, flavor, and cultural significance of rice make it irreplaceable for billions of people. Losing easy access to rice doesn't just mean changing what's on the plate, it means losing a piece of cultural identity. If prices continue to rise, rice could go from being the food of the masses to a divisive commodity that separates those who can afford it from those who can't. It's a grim reality for a food that once symbolized stability and sustenance. 3. Peanut butter. From lunchbox hero to luxury spread, peanut butter has always been a household favorite, especially in countries like the United States. It's affordable, packed with protein, and incredibly versatile, perfect for everything from school lunches to quick breakfasts. But now, even this beloved staple is becoming a luxury item. The reasons are as sticky as the product itself. Rising costs of peanuts, combined with higher production and packaging expenses, have sent peanut butter prices soaring. What was once a budget-friendly source of nutrition is now forcing families to make tough choices. Pay the higher price, switch to lower quality brands, or go without. But the loss of peanut butter is more than just financial. It's a cultural icon woven into the fabric of childhood memories and everyday routines. From PB&J sandwiches to late-night snacks, peanut butter has been a constant in many households. Its nutritional benefits, protein, healthy fats, and energy, made it a go-to option for families looking to stretch their grocery dollars. Alternatives like almond or cashew butter, even more expensive. Cheaper artificial spreads, loaded with sugar and additives, sacrificing health for affordability. The result: families are stuck between a rock and a hard place, forced to compromise on either quality or nutrition. If this trend continues, peanut butter could lose its status as an everyday staple and become a rare treat for those who can afford it. It's a sobering thought for a food that has been a symbol of simplicity and sustenance for generations. 4. Powdered milk, the fading lifeline for families. Powdered milk has been a budget-friendly lifesaver for decades. It's long-lasting, convenient, and a reliable source of calcium and protein for families who couldn't always afford fresh milk. But now, even powdered milk is becoming a luxury item, thanks to rising dairy production costs, energy prices, and packaging expenses. This shift is more than just inconvenient. It's a crisis. Powdered milk has been essential for families with children, providing vital nutrients in an affordable form. It's also been a lifeline in emergencies and in regions where refrigeration isn't readily available. The fact that even this once affordable option is slipping out of reach signals a deeper problem in our food system. Fresh milk, equally expensive. Plant-based alternatives like almond or soy milk, far pricey. For many families, powdered milk was the one affordable way to ensure their children had access to daily nutrition. Now, that option is fading fast, leaving parents with fewer and less effective choices. The loss of powdered milk isn't just about rising prices, it's about the erosion of basic nutritional security. If this trend continues, the ability to provide children with essential nutrients could become a privilege rather than a right. 5. Olive oil. Liquid gold, now priced like it. Olive oil has always been a staple in Mediterranean households and beyond. It's not just an ingredient, it's a symbol of health, flavor, and tradition. But today, olive oil is becoming one of the clearest examples of everyday groceries turning into luxury. Severe droughts in key producing countries like Spain, Italy, and Greece have slashed harvests, while global demand continues to rise. The result: skyrocketing prices that are making families think twice about using olive oil in their cooking. The problem is, olive oil isn't just about taste, it's about health. Rich in antioxidants and healthy fats, it's been linked to heart health and overall well-being. Switching to cheaper oils like sunflower or canola means sacrificing both flavor and nutritional quality. What used to be a kitchen essential is now becoming an indulgence. And this isn't just a Mediterranean problem, it's global. Olive oil has become a symbol of healthy eating worldwide, and its disappearance from average households is a warning sign of how fragile our food system has become. If prices don't stabilize, olive oil could shift permanently from an everyday cooking essential to a luxury reserved for the wealthy. It's a bitter pill to swallow for a product that has been a cornerstone of healthy home-cooked meals for generations. 6. Honey. Nature's sweet gift. Now a pricey treat. Honey has always been celebrated as one of nature's purest and most versatile gifts. It's natural, unprocessed, and for years, it was a relatively affordable staple in many households. But those days are fading fast. Thanks to climate change, dwindling bee populations, and rising production costs, honey is no longer the budget-friendly sweetener it once was. A simple jar of honey now feels more like a luxury than a pantry essential. The significance of honey goes far beyond its sweetness. For centuries, it has been valued not only as a natural alternative to sugar, but also for its medicinal properties. Known for its antibacterial and healing qualities, honey has been a go-to remedy for sore throats, wounds, and even skincare. Families relied on it as a healthier option for sweetening foods, especially for children. But with prices climbing, many are being forced to cut back or eliminate it entirely, leaving them with less nutritious and often artificial alternatives. The rise of cheaper sweeteners like corn syrup and artificial syrups might fill the gap, but they come with a cost, both in terms of health and taste. These substitutes lack the nutrients and natural benefits that honey provides, making the loss of affordable honey even more significant. What's even more alarming is what this trend says about the environment. The decline in bee populations, a key factor in honey production, is a glaring warning sign of ecological imbalance. If this continues, honey may not just be a luxury, it could become a rarity. What was once a symbol of nature's abundance is now a stark reminder of how fragile our food systems have become. 7. Instant soup. The vanishing budget comfort food. Instant soup has long been the ultimate comfort food for those on a budget. Quick, easy, and affordable, it was a staple for students, busy workers, and families looking for a warm meal without the hassle. But even this humble grocery item is no longer immune to rising costs. The increasing prices of ingredients, packaging, and energy have turned instant soup into yet another item that's slipping out of reach for many households. Instant soup wasn't just about convenience, it was a safety net. It provided a reliable, warm meal for those moments when time or money was tight. Whether it was a quick lunch, a late-night snack, or an emergency backup meal, instant soup was always there to fill the gap. But now, even this once dependable option is becoming a financial strain. The alternatives aren't much better. Making soup from scratch is often more expensive and time-consuming, which defeats the entire purpose of instant soup's appeal. And let's face it, instant soup wasn't just about saving money, it was about saving time and effort too. Losing that convenience hits hardest for those who need it most. If prices continue to rise, instant soup could go from being the cheapest meal on the shelf to a luxury item that only a few can afford. It's a harsh reality for a food that once symbolized simplicity and accessibility. 8. Chocolate. The sweet treat turning bitter. Chocolate has always been a universal indulgence, a small, affordable luxury that brought joy to both kids and adults. But now, even chocolate is becoming a victim of rising costs. Poor cocoa harvests in West Africa, combined with inflation and skyrocketing shipping expenses, have driven prices to shocking new heights. What was once a simple pleasure is now becoming an unjustifiable expense for many families. The cultural significance of chocolate cannot be overstated. From holiday celebrations to birthday parties, it has been a centerpiece of joy and tradition for generations. But as prices climb, chocolate is slowly disappearing from everyday life, leaving a noticeable void in both celebrations and daily routines. The substitutes for chocolate are few and far between. Artificial candies might be cheaper, but they lack the richness, texture, and emotional connection that real chocolate provides. And let's not forget the health benefits of dark chocolate, which is rich in antioxidants and often considered a healthier treat. Losing access to chocolate isn't just about losing a snack, it's about losing a piece of cultural and emotional comfort. If this trend continues, chocolate could shift from being an everyday indulgence to a rare luxury reserved for special occasions. It's a bitter pill to swallow for a treat that once brought so much sweetness to life. 9. Cookies. Nostalgia in a box. Now a costly treat. Cookies have always been more than just a snack. They're a symbol of comfort, nostalgia, and family traditions. From lunchbox staples to holiday treats, cookies have been a part of life's sweetest moments. But rising costs of key ingredients like wheat, sugar, and butter, along with higher packaging expenses, are turning cookies into a luxury item that many families can no longer afford. The emotional connection to cookies makes their rising cost even harder to accept. They're not just food, they're memories. Whether it's baking with loved ones or sharing a plate of cookies during the holidays, these simple treats have always represented warmth and togetherness. But now, families are being forced to cut back, switch to cheaper brands, or skip them altogether. The alternatives are far from ideal. Processed biscuits made with artificial ingredients might be cheaper, but they lack the quality and taste that make cookies special. And let's not forget the health implications. Many of these substitutes are loaded with additives and preservatives, making them a poor replacement for real cookies. If even something as simple as a cookie is becoming unaffordable, it raises a bigger question. What's next? The loss of cookies as an everyday treat is a stark reminder of how rising costs are eroding not just our grocery budgets, but also the small joys that make life sweeter. 10. Breakfast cereal. The end of an iconic morning staple. Breakfast cereal has been a household staple for decades. It's quick, convenient, and for years it was an affordable way to start the day. But those days are quickly disappearing. The rising costs of grains, sugar, and packaging have turned cereal into an increasingly expensive grocery item, forcing families to rethink their breakfast routine. Cereal isn't just food, it's a cultural icon. For generations, kids grew up with a bowl of cereal before school, and parents relied on it as a quick, no-fuss breakfast option. It represented routine, family life, and even a bit of fun, with colorful boxes and collectible prizes. But now, families are being forced to either buy less, switch to lower quality brands, or abandon cereal altogether. The health implications of this shift are significant. While some cereals are highly processed and loaded with sugar, others are fortified with essential vitamins, minerals, and fiber. For many families, cereal was an easy way to ensure their kids got some nutrition in the morning. Losing access to it often means turning to less healthy alternatives, like pastries or white bread, which lack the same nutritional value. The rising cost of cereal is more than just a financial inconvenience. It's a cultural shift. One of the most iconic breakfast foods is slipping away from the everyday household, leaving a void that's hard to fill. If prices continue to climb, breakfast as we know it may never be the same. 11. Jam. The sweet spread that's slipping away. Jam, once a colorful and affordable addition to breakfast tables, is now becoming a luxury item for many families. Rising costs of fruit, sugar, and glass jars have driven prices to levels that make a simple jar of jam feel like an unnecessary splurge. What was once a staple in grocery carts is now being left on the shelves as families struggle to prioritize essentials over small indulgences. But jam is more than just a spread, it's a piece of cultural identity. For generations, it has been tied to childhood memories, family breakfasts, and recipes passed down through time. Whether it's strawberry, apricot, or blackberry, jam evokes a sense of nostalgia and comfort that few other foods can replicate. Losing it from the household isn't just about cutting costs, it's about losing a connection to tradition and the sweeter moments of life. The alternatives are grim. Artificial spreads loaded with preservatives and high-fructose corn syrup might be cheaper, but they lack the natural flavor and nutritional value of real fruit. Jam, families who switch to these substitutes are sacrificing both taste and health, trading quality for affordability. The rising cost of jam is more than just an inconvenience. It's a sign of how inflation is eroding even the simplest joys. If prices continue to climb, jam may no longer be the everyday treat it once was, but a rare luxury reserved for special occasions. 12. Nuts. The healthy snack that's out of reach. Nuts, once praised as one of the healthiest and most versatile snacks, are quickly becoming unaffordable for the average family. Almonds, cashews, walnuts, and pistachios are all seeing dramatic price increases, driven by water shortages, extreme weather, and rising global transportation costs. What used to be a small, nutritious snack is now priced like a luxury item, leaving many families unable to justify the expense. The real tragedy here is nutritional. Nuts are packed with protein, healthy fats, fiber, and essential minerals like magnesium and zinc. They're one of the few snacks that can truly be called both delicious and beneficial. From lowering cholesterol to boosting brain health, nuts have long been a staple for those looking to maintain a healthy diet. But as prices soar, families are being forced to cut them out, losing not just a snack but a vital source of nutrition. The alternatives are bleak. Cheaper snack options are often processed junk foods loaded with sugar, salt, and artificial additives. By pricing nuts out of reach, the market is effectively pushing families toward unhealthy choices, further compounding the problem. If this trend continues, nuts will no longer be a common household item but a premium food reserved for those who can afford to prioritize their health. It's a sobering reality for a snack that was once considered a simple, wholesome option. 13. Instant coffee. The morning ritual that's slipping away. Instant coffee, once the cheapest and most reliable way to enjoy a daily caffeine fix, is now on the verge of becoming a luxury. Coffee bean prices have surged due to climate change, unstable harvests, and geopolitical tensions in key producing regions. As a result, even instant coffee, the budget-friendly alternative to brewed or specialty coffee, has seen significant price hikes, leaving many families questioning whether they can still afford their morning cup. Coffee is more than just a drink. It's a ritual, a source of comfort, and a cultural staple. Instant coffee, in particular, has always been the drink of the working class. A quick, affordable way to start the day or power through a long shift. The fact that even this is slipping out of reach is a stark reminder of how inflation is reshaping everyday life. The loss of affordable coffee isn't just about taste, it's about losing one of life's simplest comforts. Alternatives like tea are also becoming more expensive, while energy drinks and sodas are unhealthy and even pricier. Families who cut instant coffee from their budgets may find themselves turning to less satisfying or more harmful substitutes. If prices continue to rise, even the simplest morning ritual could become a symbol of privilege rather than an everyday habit. It's a bitter reality for a drink that has long been a universal source of solace and energy. 14. Canned beans. The affordable protein that's disappearing. Canned beans, once the ultimate symbol of affordability and practicality, are no longer the budget-friendly staple they used to be. Rising costs of beans due to agricultural challenges, combined with skyrocketing prices for metal cans and energy, have made even this humble food item increasingly expensive. For families on tight budgets, canned beans are slipping out of reach, leaving a noticeable gap in their grocery options. The importance of canned beans cannot be overstated. They've always been a quick, filling, and protein-rich option that could be stored for long periods, making them a lifeline for low-income households. For many, they were the perfect substitute for meat, nutritious, versatile, and affordable. Losing access to canned beans doesn't just mean fewer options in the pantry. It means losing one of the last defenses against food insecurity. While dry beans are technically cheaper per pound, they require soaking, cooking, and time resources that many families simply don't have. That's why canned beans have been such a crucial option. They offer accessible nutrition with no barriers. If prices continue to rise, one of the simplest and healthiest staples of the modern diet could vanish from many homes. It's a grim reality for a food that has long been a symbol of resilience and practicality. 15. Canned fish. The budget-friendly protein that's slipping away. Canned fish, such as tuna, sardines, and mackerel, has always been the affordable way to enjoy the benefits of seafood without the high cost of fresh fish. But now, rising costs of fishing, stricter environmental regulations, and surging prices for metal cans are pushing canned fish into the luxury category. What was once a cheap and reliable source of protein is now becoming a tough choice for families at the checkout counter. The role of canned fish in global diets is enormous. It provides protein, omega-3 fatty acids, and essential vitamins at a fraction of the cost of fresh seafood. For decades, families have relied on it as a nutritious and shelf-stable option, especially during times of economic uncertainty. But as prices climb, even this once affordable staple is slipping out of reach. The alternatives are bleak. Fresh fish is even more expensive, and cheaper protein options like processed meats lack the unique health benefits of seafood. Losing access to canned fish means losing one of the last accessible pathways to healthy eating for millions of households. If prices don't stabilize, canned fish could go from being a pantry staple to a rare indulgence. It's a sobering thought for a food that has long been a symbol of practicality and nutrition. The rising cost of these 15 everyday groceries paints a stark picture of how inflation, climate change, and global economic pressures are reshaping the way we eat. Foods that were once staples, pasta, rice, peanut butter, and even canned beans, are now slipping out of reach for millions of families. These aren't luxury items by nature. They're the building blocks of meals, the symbols of comfort, tradition, and sustenance. Yet they're being priced as if they belong in the gourmet aisle. This isn't just about adjusting grocery lists or cutting back on indulgences. It's about losing access to the foods that define our cultures, nourish our bodies, and bring us together. The shift from affordability to exclusivity is a silent crisis, one that's forcing families to make impossible choices between nutrition, tradition, and financial survival. If this trend continues, the divide between those who can afford these luxuries and those who can't will only grow wider. The foods we once thought of as universal staples may soon become symbols of privilege, leaving many to rely on cheaper, less nutritious alternatives. It's a sobering reminder of how fragile our food systems are and how deeply interconnected they are with the environment, economy, and global supply chains. As we navigate this new reality, it's clear that the way we value and access food needs to change. Because when basic groceries become luxuries, it's not just our diets that suffer, it's our way of life. Let this serve as a wake-up call. The foods we grew up with, the ones we thought would always be there, are slipping away. It's time to pay attention, take action, and fight for a future where everyone can afford the simple staples that make life a little sweeter, a little healthier, and a lot more human.